What up everyone, it's your boy Xmanny87 here, bringing you a Metacom Toys Mafex video, and what I have for you today is the Mafex DC Comics Superman Batman Hush version action figure review. Before I get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's get it. Taking a look at Superman here, I have nothing but great things to say. After years and years of trying to find my definitive 6-inch scale classic style Superman from DCUC to DC Icons to Mezco, etc, etc, I can finally say that I've found my definitive Superman in 6-inch scale here. And look at this cape. You get a posable, bendy wired fabric cloth cape, which is something I've been dying for to get in a Superman figure. Something that those other lines I mentioned never delivered. Sure, we've gotten a cloth cape, but a posable bendy wired cape? No. And you get this awesome Superman logo printed on the back of the cape. This is beautiful. That makes me very happy. I've always loved Superman with the S on the back of the cape. And it spreads out very wide, so it has this nice span to it. You get the wired on both sides. No wire on the bottom of the cape. But you're gonna have a lot of fun with posing this cape around and complementing Superman's poses. If you want him standing on top of a rooftop, maybe having his foot on a ledge, you know, getting his little Captain Morgan on and just having the cape flow to the side, you could do something like that, and this just looks absolutely amazing. There are a lot of flight poses you can simulate with this figure. This figure is a lot of fun to mess around with posing. But now let's take a closer look at Superman. Taking a close look at the head sculpt, and whew, such a great head sculpt. Really love the stern look we're getting here. As you can see, Big Blue's got the baby blues. I like the eyes, came out really cool. Eyebrows too. And the hair, look at that comic shading. It looks so good, and of course you gotta have the iconic Superman curl. It's got that nice stringy look to it. Wow, man, the Jim Lee art style here, they really nailed it out the ballpark. You can see the facial structures came out really nice. A lot of times in Superman figures they can overdo it with the facial structure, and you know, sometimes I don't think it's necessary. Taking a look at the side profile right there, they got that chin on point, really like it. And then here's a look at the back of the hair. And the top of the hair overall just came out beautiful. Now taking a look at the upper body, the torso is new, at least the upper torso part and the arms compared to the Batman. As you can see, there's more muscle definition on Superman than there is on Batman, and you can clearly see that the upper torso is much different. You know, he's got those oblique muscles more defined here. The lower torso looks the same to me, but definitely the upper torso is different. As you can see, the pectoral muscles are actually a separate piece here. That's interesting. That's an interesting take. Whereas you can see the Batman here, it's all seamless. You can see the seam right here where it's glued on. And I can understand why they went this route, so they can have a spot for the wired cape. So it's not really that noticeable, but let's look at this S logo right here. Wow, came out beautiful. The yellow came out a very light yellow, not that standard yellow that you see on Superman all the time, but the red came out really nice. I do like that. It's sculpted on. So that looks really good. And the arms here, the proportions on this figure is just so beautiful. Definitely like that. Then looking at the lower body, you get the super undies in red. And then the belt in yellow. Same color, matches the logo here. So I like that. The legs look great. Same as Batman, except the bottom right here, you got the Superman boots sculpted. So they are different there. Taking a look at the back of the figure. Behind the cape, you can see, wow, they gave him some big back muscles right there. And the sculpting on the boots came out great, man. Everything's smooth and clean. Just love the way this looks. Bottom of the boots right there, sculpted. The heels are sculpted as well. One thing I forgot to note that is very important, I should let you all know, is that inside the upper torso right here, my copy had like excess plastic, so I actually rubbed against this torso, and that was my fault because I should have inspected it first. So what I did was take an X-Acto knife and shave it down, and if I did that first, I would have not gotten this scratch. So that was totally on me. Now to cover accessories, let's go over the alternate hands he comes with. So he comes with a pair of close-fisted hands, a pair of action style hands, another stylized action hands. Comes with flight hands. And lastly, he has these pair of hands that comes with 2 open thumbs. And this is great because this is made for gripping the wiring of his cape. So you can get him in some nice, elegant posing. Again, there are so many ways to manipulate the cape that I just love it. And there's one more alternate hands he comes with, but it's not for him. And it's actually for the Batman blue and gray version, and it's the Kryptonite ring. And it's a nice addition to add here, so you could recreate Batman fighting Superman as seen in the Hush comic. The ring is painted in a nice metallic green and gold combo. I dig it. Then lastly, you can complete your possessed Superman look when he was under Poison Ivy's mind control in the Hush comic. And as you can see, he has a very angry look, and it looks good. And the red eyes look great here, and you don't need Poison Ivy's leaves to make him look possessed with the red eyes. I mean, Superman can have red eyes before or after he summons his heat vision. Anytime he's angry, his eyes can turn red. So again, you just don't need the leaves if you don't want to, but it is a nice way to recreate that look. And as you can see, he has the ivy vines around his arms as well. You could just pop the hands off and slide those in, pop the hands back in. And this just looks really good. So they're definitely teasing Poison Ivy's arrival to the Mafex line. And I cannot wait to get that figure. And the one thing that's great about the Hush line is that they basically have the license to do every Batman Rogues Gallery. I mean, basically his entire Rogues Gallery was in that book. So if Medicom Toys takes full advantage of that, oh man, we could get the best comic representations of Batman's Rogues Gallery and his allies too. Now before I cover Articulation, I want to give you the heads up. If you are new to imports or you're looking to get your first import, they require a delicate touch. You can't just manhandle them like Marvel Legends. So if you see me going in a methodical motion compared to my other reviews and my articulation segments, well, now you know why. Now, to articulate Superman, his head moves that far up, which is really decent. This is good for flight poses. Could have maybe used a little bit more bend, but then again, you have the upper torso. So, you know, you can always do that if you need him to look higher. And his head looks that far down, which is really good. Left, right, you got that nice head pivot and it rocks around. You got drop down arms, so they drop down. You can shift them back up. You got the butterfly joints that move forward and back, so that's really good. His arms move that far up. They move down and all around. You got the shoulder swivel. You have a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows that bend in that far. That is great. You got the wrist swivel and the multi-directional ball jointed hinge. You got a double diaphragm joint, so the upper torso moves that far down and that far back. It swivels and it pivots and you can rock it around. Waist swivel, it pivots and it rocks around and it moves that far forward when you use the full diaphragm joint. Look at that crunch, man. That is great. And it moves, let me see, this far back. There you go. So again, lots of great movement with this figure. And with Superman, you want this. You got the drop down legs, so they drop down and they shift up. His legs move that far apart. I don't expect Superman to do full splits, but this is a decent split for him. Also, the legs are very ratchet. So he kicks that far up and he kicks that far back so he could get a full frontward split. You get a nice thigh swivel. You have double jointed knees, but no heel to the super butt. The ankles move up that far. They move down, they swivel, and they also rock. And you got the toe joint. Now for some comparisons, here is the Mafex Superman next to my 2 other favorite classic comic Superman figures in my collection. We have the Mezco Toys 112 Collective Superman and the NECA Toys Superman. While the NECA one has a great body sculpt and looks cool, I wasn't a big fan of the super thin curvy eyebrows on the face sculpt. Looked a little feminine and made him look a little worried. I don't know about you, but I never want my Superman to look scared. Also, the hip joints with the pins exposed is a bad look, which made it look very prototype-like. The overlay of the trunks didn't do a good job of hiding it either. Looking at this new Mafex, the overlay on the trunks flows perfectly with the legs. However, for you McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse fans, the NECA Superman is the best classic Superman to fit within that collection being 7-inch scale. But for me, that's not my scale. 6-inch action figures is my preferred scale. This Superman is my scale. I had some gripes with the Mezco Toys one too, but it has the best accessories ever offered for a 6-inch classic Superman. This Mafex Superman has the perfect perfect combination of sculpt and articulation that I care about in a figure. While they all bring something cool to the table, the Mafex one is the best of them all. Here's an important comparison with the Mafex Superman next to a Mezco Toys 112 Collective Darkseid. Here he is next to the DC Universe Classics 2008 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, the main man Lobo. Here is the Mafex Superman next to the DC Universe Classics Clark Kent and a Marvel Legends kit bash I made to make a Lois Lane using the silk head on the Gwen Stacy body. Here he is next to a Marvel Legends Retro Classic Spider-Man and the Mafex Classic Spider-Man. Both of these Spider-Man figures go along great with this Superman to recreate your battle of the century. Lastly, here is our Mafex Superman next to his Hush series mate Batman Blue and Black version. Now I'm extremely happy to have my definitive World's Finest team complete. Now we just need Mafex to deliver the definitive classic comic style Wonder Woman to complete the Trinity. Alright, and now to wrap things up, my final rating is a 10 out of 10. Total awesomeness. It's only February and I know this Superman will end up in my top 10 action figures of 2021. Superman has always been one of my favorite DC characters. Him and Batman were the perfect 1-2 punch for me in DC. Batman Hush being my all-time favorite Batman story next to Under the Red Hood, I automatically have a strong personal attachment to it. Growing up a huge Jim Lee fan, I'll take a Jim Lee classic style Superman any day. So hell yeah, I wanted a Hush version of Superman. It's hard for me to find flaws on this figure. The paint is so clean, the sculpt and articulation is perfect, the wired cape adds more depth and dynamic to posing, the accessories are fun. It's crazy because I'm calling this the definitive Superman for me, but Mafex can still top this with another classic Superman. That's right, they're doing some 90s reign of Superman figures starting with the black outfit. If they can give us a classic 90s Superman, maybe with a darker blue, I mean, I like the blue on this one, but, you know, more pure Superman blue. Heat vision, freeze breath, tornado punch effects, all kinds of effects, alternate heads with both regular and mullet hairstyles, then the 90s fanboy in me is going to squeal like a fangirl. The Mafex comic line for DC Comics is now my go-to line for DC figures. My wallet is going to eat up everything they throw, and I give Mafex permission to take my money. I had a blast photographing this figure, one of the best I've ever photographed. In my opinion, this is hands down the best Man of Steel figure, period. Now I kick it back to you all. What do you think of this Superman figure? Also, who would you like to see Mafex tackle next in the Hush line? I know many of you will be clamoring for a Nightwing, and I'm with you all the way on that. Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. That was my review. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Link is in the description below. Get your Mafex Batman Hush Superman figure at Big Bad Toy Store. Link is in the description below. If you want to purchase props and dioramas, check out my website, shopxmanny87.com. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you are new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.